Welcome everyone! Today we play an interactive Dungeons & Dragons adventure where you, the viewer, can decide what our heroes do. The first few elite viewers to scroll down and add an idea in the video comment section will change the course of our adventure. The most popular ideas will decide the choices our heroes make among the multiple choices available in the game. I am a stranger here, on a quest, a noble quest. I could use information from a local, you say. What sort of quest? She asks. Oh, I cannot say. It would not be right to say. Well, if you will not share with me, how can you expect me to share with you? She asks, frowning. For all I know, you are here on behalf of a demon lord, or the great dragon Showark. Though that would be hard to imagine in your case, she laughs gently to herself. Hard to imagine in my case, you ask indignantly. Is there something about my dress or manner that suggests I could not be in the service to a dark power? I would not be suggesting to you otherwise, she asks. Consider it is a good thing to not be taken as an agent of evil. And if you are, well, bravo to you on your disguise. You frown and fidget, thinking of what next to say. Rooster, she asks gently, here's a piece of advice from a local. We prefer to be spoken to plainly. You take a deep breath. Very well, I am not here on a quest. Well, outside of my quest to gain a roof over my head and regular bread and mead. She nods. A quest shared by many. And so my desire is the same as before, you say. Which is? She asked. I am new to the city and I was hoping I could find a local to tell me a bit about my new home, you say. You are not just passing through then, she asks. No, I mean to stay a while, you say. At her expression, you ask, why do you look so surprised? I never have seen you before, she asks. She says, and your manner of speaking, your accent, says you're from over the mountains. I have an accent, you say? She smiles. It is so slight that most would not notice it. I study people. You shrug. You'd rather not talk about where you're from. That could lead to other questions. To be honest, I don't even know anyone in Ring City, and I'm looking for an occupation, you say. She shakes her head. You don't look like the sort who would work in the mines, she asks. I don't look strong enough, you ask. You look healthy, and the gods have gifted you with some height and frame, but there are no calluses on your hands, she asks. She says, you don't make coin with hard labor. I'd rather make it with my courage and my wits, you say. They call Ring City a place for adventure. She leans in. Really? Is that what you are? An adventurer? You nod. Where are your weapons and armor? She asks. I sold it all to get here. Kriya suddenly sits back in her chair. Her cloak opens slightly and you catch a glimpse of what looks like fur in a large inner pocket. Stranger, I'm getting wary of lies. Noticing where your eyes have strayed, she closes her cloak. Lies, you ask, doing your best to sound indignant. Half-truths, perhaps. I cannot say. Well, let me be plain. I heard you may have a job for an adventure, you say. She chants something in a slow, low voice and then slaps the table sharply. What did you say? What was that language, you ask? Kriya studies you for a moment and then says, I saw you like card games. How about we play a game? If you answer a question of mine truthfully, then I will answer one of yours. Very well, you say. She spits on her hand and holds it out to you. You spit and shake. She chants something else again in a low voice. All right, I will ask first, she says with a satisfied smile. I do not care about your real name, but if I am to do business with a man, I want to know whom he is running from. I am not running. Whom are you running from? Your thoughts stop as your words begin to spill out in a torrential whisper. My family is one of highly skilled gamblers and expert thieves. Almost a year ago, my father stole from the wrong man, a man with connections to House Vritim here. The house murdered my mother. They sold my father to Lord Wallington's army. When he fell in battle, they sold me into the army, and now I carry his debt. I am to pay 10 gold by sunset at each new moon. You pause as you fight your compulsion to speak. Gods, she has bewitched me, you think. Pain flashes through your mind. Must finish! Lord Wallington cut wages for his soldiers, and there was no plunder to be had. I feared I would not be able to make my payments for long. When I don't, They've promised the rack and torture, a slow, miserable death, and that my sister will be sold to slavers. You pause again, fighting the enchantment, but you cannot. I deserted. I had no choice, so I am also running from Lord Wallington's bounty hunters. The fist around your mind loosens. Curse you, you hiss at her. You are a witch. You peer through the end, afraid your revelations will have ruined your chances to glean more money. Thankfully, no one seems to be paying attention to you. And you are a thief and a renegade. Her voice has no malice. In fact, it sounds kind. Now, per our agreement, you may ask a question of me. But you won't be forced to comply as I will you? You say with a glare. But I will, she says quickly. That is the way of magic, sometimes. It gives and it takes. She smiles. Now that I've answered your question, I will ask another. Oh my god. What value would you bring to my adventuring party? You're still gaping in outrage when the words start streaming of their own accord. I am a good scout. I can move quietly and unseen when it pleases me. I have modest skills at picking pockets and locks. I have been trained with a few weapons and understand battle tactics. Better that time, you think. At least you did not go on and on with your blabbering. However, you're unhappy with your use of the term modest skill. Truth is often cruel. Kriya nods. Hoping to avoid spilling more uncomfortable secrets, you straighten your cloak and say, It is time for me to go. But you get to ask me another question, he insists. But ask quickly. The spell only lasts so long. Well, she already pulled your most pressing secret out of you straight away. Perhaps now is the time to learn something from her. Several options come to your mind. Your first question could find out whether or not you can trust her. You certainly like to know if she is an evil witch. You're desperately curious to know whether she raised the dead, as Rhodesia claimed. It might be more practical to ask what she brings to the adventuring party. Is she a powerful wizard? What do you ask? Do you ask if you can trust her? Do you ask if she has raised the dead? Do you ask if she is a powerful wizard? Or do you not ask a question? You decide, everyone. Make your choice in the video comment section.